Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good wherever you are. This is Sunday streaming. I hope that you are doing well. Hope that everybody is having a great Sunday morning, and I hope that you are all ready for the work week that is ahead. Boo, right? Well, I mean, at least for me, it's the last work week before we get into Christmas break. Before I get into that, though, I'm going to be moving, so it's going to be really crazy. But yeah, I am taking questions from everybody in the chat. We are live, ladies and gentlemen, and I am happy to see Dawsomeness Productions is already here. What is going on, man? And of course, Comic Geek Reviews. How you doing, pal? Hope everybody is doing well. Fantastic Four novels. I hope you are doing well as well, brother. Hope everything is good with you guys. And if you're watching this, start shooting me questions in the chat, and I will be more than happy to answer them. Yo, yo, yo. I'm in a pretty good mood today. Things have been going pretty good. So, it's been a good day. It's been a real good day. Very chill day, very relaxed day here in Florida. Just getting ready for the big move happening. So if you guys are wondering, I'm just going to start with this. Content-wise, it's going to be pretty thin this week simply because we are moving. We're moving into a bigger space. And yeah, so that's going to be fun. We're going to get better internet. We're going to get a bigger space. We're getting, hopefully, better shelving and a bunch of other stuff. Mr. Amir, what is up, pal? Mr. Amir from the Omnibus Facebook group. Where's the Spider-Man reaction? The Spider-Man reaction, you know what, that's a good question. I didn't even think about that. I completely forgot that I didn't put a reaction for the Spider-Man video. Maybe I can get something up today. We'll see. I mean, the thing is, I'm so swamped with work and with moving right now that it's just crazy. But next week, once things start slowing down again, and once I'm actually on break, that I'll be able to get back into regularly doing reactions and things like that. I know you guys like that. Do you think we will see a Deadpool's omnibus reprint? Which omnibus? Because Deadpool's got a few omnibuses that are out of print, if I'm not mistaken. I think Cable and Deadpool's out of print, and I think the Joe Kelly omnibus is out of print, if I'm not mistaken. So, but if that, do I think we'll see a reprint? Yeah. I mean, with the movies coming out, it would behoove them to do it. I mean, I'm getting the preview video should go up today of the Brian Posehn Deadpool omnibus, which is massive. It's absolutely huge. And it's a good deal. I mean, it's a lot. It's like over 50, 60 comics for like $50 on in-stock trades right now. It's so good. Have I played Marvel Ultimate Alliance? Yes, I have. Marvel Ultimate Alliance was so good. It was so good. Oh, it was such a fun game. I used to love playing as I think Blade was one of the characters. It's been a long time since I played it, but it was really one of those games where I was like, oh my gosh. I still remember looking at the Game Informer preview as a kid and going, wow, this looks incredible. I want to play this. Why was there only one omnibus for Ultimate Spider-Man? There's a number of reasons why there's only one omnibus for Ultimate Spider-Man. You know, there wasn't demand for the second one. Just a whole bunch of other different things. You know, maybe the sales numbers weren't that great on it because it's still an omnibus that is readily available. Like, you can still get that thing for like pennies. It's not an expensive omnibus at all to get. From Dublin, wow. Did I buy the DC Rebirth omnibus? No, I have not. And here's the reason why. Those omnibuses with one shot, with not, well, they're not necessarily one shots, but with like, here's every single issue of like the New 52, like the first issue, or every single first issue of Rebirth. That stuff to me, it just doesn't appeal to me, simply because I'd rather have stories. I'd rather have arcs of characters that I like. And when you get an omnibus like that, chances are you're going to get some duds in there. Yo, HC, not really fond of the Green Lantern powers and don't know much about him other than from what I've read in Justice League. You think Jeff Johns' run will change my mind? If Jeff Johns' run doesn't change your mind on Green Lantern or the Green Lantern mythos, then I really don't know what run will. Because Jeff Johns' run on Green Lantern is essentially the quintessential run on the character. It is the defining run on the character of Green Lantern. There is no other run that has been published before that tops what Jeff Johns does. Jeff Johns does a whole number of different things. He expands the mythos of the Green Lantern Corps to incredible levels by introducing different lanterns. Sinestro Cold War is perhaps one of the best DC events that I've ever written. It's incredible. Changes the mythology of the Green Lanterns themselves. Before this, the Green Lanterns were not allowed to kill. However, Jeff Johns changes that rule out of necessity because Sinestro actually ends up, oh man, I really don't want to ruin it, but out of necessity, the Green Lanterns are actually forced to end up killing. And that changes the entire game of the Green Lantern Corps as a whole. So it's really, really interesting stuff. It's really, really good content. And I think if you don't read it, you're going to be missing out on some of the best comics that have been around in the past 10 years. It's so good. What I recommend you do is that you pick up the first Jeff Johns, pick up Green Lantern Rebirth. It's really good. It's really good. You don't need to know anything about the character. All you need to know is that he blew up a city and he was possessed by a being called Parallax, and now he's stuck with this being called the Spectre. That's really all you need to know. After that, you read it and you'll be perfectly fine. It is so good. I've been thinking about getting the Flash Francis Manapul omnibus. Is it any good by Comic Geek Reviews? I've heard, haven't read it, but this is what I've heard. I've heard that there are a lot of people that just hate on it because the writing isn't incredible, but it is a solidly written book, that it's a very well written book. It's got great content. It's got great material. There's a lot of things going for it. The art is incredible, apparently. And the fact that this is the first time these two artists, because they were both artists, have taken a crack at writing a book, that they did a really competent job. I've also heard the opposite. I've heard that the writing is not that great, but the art is beautiful. So if you want to take that risk, by all means, take that risk. I haven't heard it's terrible. I haven't heard anything like that, but I've heard it's just okay at worst, you know? Man, while I was recovering from the first trade of Southern Bastards, I moved to Deadly Class issue 21 and boom, I'm dead now. What's wrong with this writers? Man, the ending of Southern Bastards #1 will just rip your heart out. It really will. Oh, the first trade of Southern Bastards would just destroy you. It'll absolutely crush your heart and soul and dreams. It's ooh, man. Have I read any Deathstroke? If so, what would be the best reads? Have not read any Deathstroke, however, I've heard amazing things of its DC Rebirth stuff, of the stuff they've been doing with him in DC Rebirth. Again, not a character I've read too fondly of, but you know, I've heard great things of the new Rebirth stuff. From Russia, oh my goodness, man, I can't even think about like how far that is from here. Still blows my mind that that I have people from all over the world that watch this channel, like from Russia, from the Ukraine, from just from all over the world. It's incredible to me. It really is. Big spoon, little, or are you a spoon flexible? Ooh, I'm a big spoon kind of guy. Yeah, totally a big spoon kind of guy. And you can hold more food in a big spoon. And if you got a little spoon and you're trying to eat something, it's like, oh God, everything's falling apart. It's no, come on, that's terrible. Who wants that? Who wants to eat their cornflakes with a little spoon? Nobody. Hi from Australia. Hey, how's it going, man? A Finnish person. Wow, somebody from Finland. Have I read Lucifer? No, I'm sorry, Amir. I have not. But I have heard that if you are a fan of Sandman, it is a brilliant companion piece to that series. Because if you don't know, in Sandman, uh, more, Ah, lost it. Hold on. Hold on. Give it a sec. There we go. I don't know what just happened. Sorry about that. Should be back now. Okay. Yeah. But like I was saying, Lucifer is a interesting story. I've never read it. I've heard great things. I've said that if you are a fan of Sandman, this is definitely a book that you want to read. It's a great companion piece, and it follows the character of Lucifer, who is absolutely fascinating in the Sandman series. That's what I've heard. I mean, give it a shot. You can never lose wrong with trying a first trade, right? Would you recommend the Deadpool by Posehn and Duggan Omnibus to a first-time Deadpool reader? Yes, in fact, I would. I've read a lot of that content. The Dead Presidents arc is absolutely hilarious. I've read a lot of it, and the omnibus is like $50, and it's like over a massive amount of 400 pages. What's interesting about Posehn and what's interesting about what Gary Duggan does with the character is that they take Deadpool, they keep the funny, they keep the action, but they kind of take it in an interesting way in the sense that they make Deadpool the sad face clown. They really get an inside look at Deadpool and at the character, and you realize, oh wow, Deadpool is actually kind of a sad and depressed guy, and the reason he doesn't shut up and he cracks jokes is because he's trying to make everybody else laugh. And the fact that Brian Posehn is a stand-up comedian adds a lot of weight to that, because if you know anything about stand-up comedians, they are some of the most depressed and sad people in the world. They are constantly under medication. They're constantly, dealing with drugs and things like that because they are trying to manage their depression. And a way that they do manage their depression is by being funny. That funniness, that comedian, that presentation, that being in front of an audience and making people laugh, it's kind of a high for them. It's kind of a way for them to cope with their own issues by making others laugh. And that, in a way, is where they get the inspiration for this run of Deadpool. Have I read The Unwritten? No, but it's getting deluxe editions next year, and I've heard it's incredible. I've heard it's really good. Do I prefer watching anime or reading manga? I prefer reading manga. I watch anime on occasion. I sit down with my girl sometimes, and we sit down and we watch anime. Like, wow, this is really good. But here's the thing: me to sit down and really watch a TV show or an anime or something like that has to be really good, because it's a time sink. I'm not the type of person that could sit in front of a TV screen for 8 hours, unless it's like video games or something like that. Because if I'm just sitting there watching TV, I don't know what it is. I cannot just stay there. I start thinking about 13 other things that I could be doing. Any characters you'd like to see join TV's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Personally, I'd love to see Sleepwalker join. Wow, that's an interesting character. I mean, they've opened it up now with the Ghost Rider situation. I think Moon Knight would work. I think they could do something with Moon Knight. I'm not sure if you've answered this before, but thoughts on Civil War 2? Not a fan. Not a fan based on what I've read. I've read a little bit of it, and it does nothing for me. To be honest, I'm kind of burned out by events at this point. Marvel's got a new event like every other week. Every other week they're killing off an X-Men or they're doing something dumb, and I'm just like, yeah, okay. At this point, I'm over it, and I just want things to just cool down and for Marvel to stop doing so many events. I mean, they just had the Death of X mini where, spoilers, they revealed how Cyclops died, and it's probably one of the stupidest things that I've read. I actually sat down and read all 4 issues, and I was like, oh my god, really? Is this really what they're doing right now? It's terrible. Ugh. It's just burnout. I'm burned out. Honestly, I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with all of this. Oh my goodness. I'm ready for them to take kind of a little bit of a break and just focus on good writers and focus on good characters, man. That's what they need to do. They just need to stop with the events for a little bit, focus on that. Flips the table. Yeah, this is the year of flipping table. Guys, I want to take a second though to I forgot to absolutely to do this on Sunday stream, so I'm gonna take a on Thursday's show. So I'm gonna take a second and just plug for the show for the small YouTube channel that I want to plug for this week. It's gonna be Near Mint Condition with Omar from the Omnibus Collectors Facebook group. His stuff is A plus, great content. Check his channel out. It's called Near Mint Conditions. Give him some love, show him a good time, and comment and subscribe. He's got a lot of good content coming out there. What character do you think has the best rogues gallery? Flash. Absolutely has to be the Flash. Flash to me has absolutely the best rogues gallery. Although I will say, does Green Lantern's villains count as a rogues gallery? Because Green Lantern has some really great villains. Green Lantern has some really, really great villains. I mean, come on, you got to think Sinestro, the Anti-Monitor. The list goes on and on and on and on. Really great villains in that group. Batman's up there. Batman is up there, but I think Batman's just at this point. Everybody says Batman because it's the easy answer. It's like, oh, he's got Joker, he's got Two-Face, he's got Killer Croc. You know, he's got all these bad guys, and it's like, yeah, he does. But it's kind of the obvious choice. I wanted to do something a little bit different. Well, I mean, yeah, that's Batman is obviously the best rogues gallery, hands down. But you know, I wanted to go with a choice that's a little bit different than the traditional stuff. What is the best Guardians of the Galaxy run for a new reader? The best Guardians of the Galaxy run is the Dan Abnett and Andy Landing stuff, and you can get that stuff in the Omnibus or in Ultimate collections. It's readily available. I highly recommend it. You really don't need to know anything else about the characters. You could get that, and you could pick it up, and they will like it because that is Dan Abnett and Andy Landing's Guardians of the Galaxy is the run that inspired the movie. It wasn't the Brian Michael Bendis crap that he put out to meet some editorial mandate or something like that, because that was, I think it was terrible. I hated Brian Michael Bendis' Guardians of the Galaxy, and I didn't even get the omnibus. It is a nice looking omnibus, though. I've seen pictures of it, but the material in there is just not worth it. It's not that great of content. What he does with those characters is just not that great. He just doesn't understand them. The best crime noir story, except for Scalp, that would be Richard Stark's Parker by Darwin Cook. Those are the best crime books, aside from Scalped and aside from the Criminal series by Ed Brubaker. But Parker is the best crime series that's available right now. Collected editions you're looking forward to the most in 2017. I'm looking forward to the Monster Bus. I'm a big Jack Kirby fan, so that's going to be good. I'm looking forward to that. What else am I looking? Amazing Spider-Man Volume 3. I'm really looking forward to that. Do you need the Abnett version even with War of Kings release? No, no. I don't think you don't need I'm just having all kinds of problems today. God, Google Plus is such a piece of shit, I swear. Ugh, it's terrible. How is Scott Snyder's Swamp Thing? Scott Snyder's Swamp Thing is okay at best, I think. It's probably the weakest thing he's ever run, and I'm a Scott Snyder junkie. I love what Scott Snyder writes. I think he's one of the best writers around today. But for me, it's mediocre, as Morton Joe would say, mediocre. For the Omni Bros Live, would you guys consider doing an Omnibus of the Year stream? We're doing the Omnis in like 1 or 2 weeks. That's what we named it. The Omnis, where in the Omnibus Collectors Facebook group, they took a poll and they said, "Hey guys, these are the categories. What do you guys think?" We got the results back. I'm not going to ruin what they are here, but we're doing a live stream of that in like the next coming weeks, and that'll be our end of the year wrap up for you guys. And then if I'm not mistaken, I'm not exactly sure how the format is going to go because we're still working it out. One show will be what you guys think, and we'll be commenting on it, and the next show will be our choices. So it's going to be split up into like a two-parter. At least that's what we're still working on it. It's not definitive. We still don't have a definite idea as to how we're going to do it yet. Am I watching The Flash season 3? No, I don't have cable. And I know there are other ways to watch it, but like I said, I don't have time. I don't have time to sit down and watch this, guys. I work 2 jobs. This is my second job. Have I read Jeff Johns' Superman from New 52? No, but I've heard good. No, I take it back. I've read a little bit of it when he did the art with John Romita Jr. It was really good. Yeah, that stuff wasn't bad. It was actually pretty solid, and it was at the time when it was in New 52. Everybody was so like desperate for good Superman stories that it was like, oh my gosh, this is a breath of fresh air. Have I read the new IDW TMNT? Do I recommend it? What's my favorite turtle? Donnie's my favorite turtle. I have read a lot of the new IDW TMNT. It's great content. It honors the spirit of the original comics while introducing a lot of different concepts. Really, really, really solid stuff. It's really good. Plus, it helps that it has, I believe the guy's name is Kevin Eastman, who was one of the original writers slash creators of the TMNT. So there's a lot of love that's being poured into that series. It's a really good run, man. Torn between getting Mark Waid's or Brubaker's Daredevil Omnibus. Which one is better? I already have Frank Miller's run. That's actually a bit of a challenging question, but I'm going to ask you this. Do you have Brian Michael Bendis's Daredevil content, or do you have the omnibuses? Because if you don't have Brian Michael Bendis's Daredevil content, it it's not that you'll be lost in Brubaker, because you won't, because Brubaker takes it in a completely different direction, but Ed Brubaker's run on Daredevil is a direct continuation of the stuff that Bendis was doing. Like, it literally follows up like probably a week, a month later after what Bendis was doing and the situation that Daredevil's in. So if you don't have them, then my advice would probably be to pick up the Mark Waid Omnibus, because it's a fresh start. You don't need to know anything about the character. You don't need to know anything about Daredevil. It's just a fun ride all the way through. Will I be picking up the Flash by Mark Waid Volume 1 trivia grade? Yes, I do. I plan to. Well, Google Plus is just easy because it streams right into YouTube. So that's why I use it. But I hate it. I absolutely hate Google Plus. Just asked me to ask you if he's tired of the Omnidog being the real star of his show. Jess is the real star of this show. I love Jess. He's so awesome. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, me and Jess actually we're doing a news show on Patreon that's similar to like what we do on Thursdays, except we just cover the news. We have a great time doing it. It's been fun so far. What is my favorite DC character? That would be Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing is no, it's hard. It's hard to tell. There's so many good ones. Swamp Thing or the Flash? Everybody's favorite is Batman. Yours is Grant Morrison. Yes, yes. Grant Morrison is my favorite DC character because everybody knows that Grant Morrison he's beyond writers. He's beyond our plane of existence at this point. Love me some Morrison. Absolutely love Morrison. Great writer. Getting new software. I'm working on it. God, I blame Nick. Yeah, I've already answered this. Will I be getting the DC Rebirth hardcovers? Absolutely. I will most assuredly be getting a lot of the DC Rebirth hardcovers. I was going to get the trades, but now they've solicited hardcovers, so I'm like, well, I guess I'm just going to wait like a few months and get the hardcovers instead. What's my favorite Batman comic? There are a lot of choices out there. There's The Killing Joke, Black Mirror. Black Mirror is really good by Scott Snyder. That's one of my favorite Batman comics of all time. Actually, I'd probably say Black Mirror. Deadpool Adamantium collection, dude. I wasn't even aware they were doing an Adamantium collection for Deadpool. What is my favorite run on any character? Hmm. Alan Moore's Swamp Thing run is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. That's my choice. Alan Moore's Swamp Thing run is good. And Brian Michael Bendis' Daredevil run. Do you think there are any failures in the DC Rebirth universe? Okay, based on what I've read, and granted, I haven't read every single thing that's out in the DC Rebirth universe so far. Haven't read any bombs. I've read all good stuff, which is what surprised me. It's like, oh man, they really took what people said about the New 52 to heart, and they really went back to basics. They're like, yeah, let's pull back and let's examine this and see why this is not working. Let's go back to basics. What is my favorite manga? 20th Century Boys. Where should you start reading The Flash? You have a bunch of good choices. There's most recently, in fact, this week, Mark Waid's Flash got reprinted in nice little volumes that I cannot wait to get my hands on. Then you have Jeff Johns' run on The Flash, which is, so good. Absolutely so good. It's required reading material. Francis Manipal's run recently in the New 52 stuff I heard is good. The DC Rebirth Flash stuff, I've been enjoying the hell out of the DC Rebirth stuff that they're doing with the Flash. That's been so good. Godspeed, oh my gosh, man. Joshua Williamson has been. Hello. Frankenstein Agents of Shield. I forgot what it was called, but Frankenstein book was good. I Vampire was good. There was a lot of good stuff coming out of the New 52 stuff. It wasn't all terrible. Which set should I buy first? Irredeemable, Chew, hardcovers, or Hellboy library editions? Depends on how good your budget is. Chew just wrapped up, so there's that. And I thought the ending was really good. Hellboy library editions are great. Hey, you recommended Ultimate Spidey a while back, and I read it and completely loved it. What other Spider-Man runs would you recommend? Roger Stern's run is good. It's really good. The small amount that I've read. I'm making my way through that right now. Kraven's Last Hunt is a must-read for any Spider-Man fan. It's brilliant. It's awesome. I love Kraven's Last Hunt. Dan Slott's run, it's a bit of a mixed bag for me. I think Dan Slott's been on the book way too long. I think it's time for him to kind of move on, find some other projects. He's been doing really well with the Silver Surfer stuff based on a little bit I've read. But I think it's time for him to move and somebody else get a crack at it, you know? Have you read Descender by Jeff Lemire? Descender's real good. December is very, very good with beautiful art. I really recommend you check out Descender if you have not. And if you're a fan of things like Blade Runner or even Westworld right now, Descender is really, really good. Do you think Jeff Johns' Omnibus will get a reprint? What's out of print? As far as I know, most of the Jeff Johns stuff is in print, except for the Hawkman stuff. I think is hard to come by, but still not that hard to come by. I'm not sure what is out of print that's Jeff Johns. Because the three JSAs, as far as I know, are in print. Is it the Green Lantern stuff that's out of print? Worst film, Spider-Man 3 or The Amazing Spider-Man 2? I might say Spider-Man 3 by a small margin, but it's tough though. I would actually agree with you. It's really tough. That's a really tough choice, but God, I mean, just the Electro stuff was terrible in Amazing Spider-Man 2, but then you had the fake Venom stuff that was terrible in Spider-Man 3. You know what? I'm gonna go with Amazing Spider-Man 2. I thought that was worse than Spider-Man 3. I really did, because the Electro stuff was just terrible. Spider-Man 3 had some redeeming elements of it. I mean, it had the dancing Peter Parker, which was terrible, but Sandman was actually a really cool villain that was underused in that film. Do I like the idea of bringing back Watchmen in the Rebirth? You know, I'm all for it actually. I know at first I wasn't. At first I was like, wait, what the hell are they talking about? Watchmen incorporating it? And I'm like, I wasn't sold on it. But it could come up with a really interesting story. I'm really excited to see what they do with the whole Mr. Manhattan thing. I'm really jonesing to see that. That's going to be really cool. Yeah, Hawkman went out of print. I knew that. Oh, the Jeff Johns Flash omnibuses. That's right. Those are out of print. You know what? You can get those. The content that's in there is readily available in trade paperbacks. They've recently reprinted a lot of that stuff, and they're still putting them out. You just want Michael Keaton as Norman Osborn. Where are you getting him as the Vulture instead? So, I mean, he played Birdman a few years ago. I was looking to buy more Image series. Any recommendations? I already own Deadly Class, Saga Chew, Lazarus, and Southern Bastards. Ooh, man. Good choices. Very good choices. Fatale is good. Edward Brubaker's Fatale is a must-read. His new book, The Fade Out, great stuff. Anything else by Image? Let me think. What else? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking out of that list. Black Science is really good. If you own Deadly Class, then I highly recommend you read Black Science. It's written by Rick Remender. Low is okay. It's not the best thing he's writing. I thought it was okay. Not a fan of the art too much. Do I still collect floppies? Absolutely. Other image titles. That's a really good question. Outcast. Outcast is really good. I read the hardcover edition of Outcast and I thought that was really solid. Invincible is good. East of There we go. Yeah. Okay. Your next book should be East of West. Yeah. Oh yeah. Your next book should absolutely be East of West. Get the hardcover edition. East of West is so good. I'm going to warn you right now, you're going to read the first issue, though, and you're going to go, what the hell am I reading? You probably won't understand it, but it's so, so good. I would say Witches. Witches is good, but it's been like, what, a year and a half, 2 years since the last issue come out, and Scott Snyder keeps saying, yeah, we're working on it, but those guys are busy. Those guys are real busy. Seven to Eternity is really good. The art by Jerome Pena is astounding. Do I read Star Wars novels? No, no, I do not. I'm not. I like Star Wars. I really do. I've read some of the. I read the Darth Vader stuff. That was good. I'm waiting for it to all get collected, but other than that, no. Which out of print book are you on the hunt for? The only out of print book right now that I'm really on the hunt for, that I'm jonesing to get my hands on, is the Silver Surfer omnibus. Because I was looking for Thor by Walter Simonson, I got that. I was looking for Annihilation, I got that. And I was looking for Fantastic Four by Hickman, and I was really, really dying to get my hands on that. And a lot of people have been posting them up for some reason in the Omnibus group. I was really looking forward to getting that, but I ended up just getting the trades for like an incredible deal. Somebody gave me all the trades for like $50 a few months ago. Can you do a video on the Outcast hardcover that just came out? I was planning to do a video on that. I don't know why that hasn't come up on my schedule yet. Might have to move things around. All right, guys, so it's going to be 5 more minutes. It's going to be a short stream this week simply because I am in the middle of getting things packed up. We are moving pretty soon and all that other stuff. So content-wise, it's going to be a little bit short this week. I'm warning you right now because we are going to be moving to a bigger place on Wednesday. So don't expect too much this week, but I'm probably going to try to squeeze some things in there. Just giving you guys a heads up. Do you think that the JMS Thor omnibus could get a reprint because of Ragnarok? It's possible. We're getting a Journey into Mystery omnibus next year with a lot of the Kieran Gillen stuff. Talk about a whale. You're looking for a goddamn narwhal with the Silver Surfer omnibus. Yeah, it's incredibly hard to come by that. Do you think that fact that Garth Ennis's Marvel Knights Punisher run hasn't been reprinted is proof that there's no God? No, I don't think that. I think there's a number of other things. Have I grabbed the Posehn by Deadpool omnibus? If so, what are my thoughts on it? Yes, I have. Stay tuned for that because a video is coming out on that really soon, maybe in the next 24 hours, but I've got something coming. It's great. If you want to read Deadpool, it's a great place to start. Have fun packing and moving all of my book. Yeah, that's going to be a pain in the ass. I'm not looking forward to that. That's going to be a real big Okay. Jeez, man. Okay, like I was saying, um, before I got cut off, patreon.com/hardcover reviews, guys. That is what's keeping this channel alive. I don't get paid for this other than Patreon. My monetization doesn't help. So that is what's helping me out, and I'm able to do this as a side job. So please support me if you can, as little as $1 a month. We just hit $100 and it went back down to 98. So I'm still going to do the giveaway for this month to my Patreon subscribers. Not only that, but me and Jess have started our own news show. So if you like the live stream on Thursdays, we're pretty much doing that on Patreon. So you can check that out at the $5 level. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great week. Bye. And yes, the jingler will make an appearance again.